as asked, requested. If you will, have the
I had
first.
one thing though. So I wanted the cost for
Yes, sir.
for the 20 projects on there.
Huh?
Catherine did say it was on the long form today. If it's on the long form, I guess, but if it's on the long form, then I don't understand why we can't have it on here.
Say, Rob, let's make sure, again, going back to our last meeting, we made an agreement that if we put those on the capital expenditures, as you requested, that we would get this budget approved. So now at 5:02 for everybody that's here, anybody that's watching this, 5:02, I have an email. And you were instructed by the city attorney that if you had anything before noon, we'd like to have it for the meeting. 5:02 is just less than an hour ago to not have that information put on there. You had already agreed, and we have it back we can go back and look at last week's meeting.
Yeah, I didn't.
Again, you agreed.
I did not agree.
Okay, but again, Jennifer, I've got it on there that she agreed to, that's what she wanted, because Bonnie said that and Jennifer said yes. So we have the information you want on there. If it was what you wanted, why wait till today? This is again going back to that, you had 8 weeks with the budget, okay? And then the 27th, when you come in here to the budget, then you have another request, and then we come to this meeting, and you have another request. Again, right now, I can tell you that what we have set up here on this ordinance is what we're going to read today, okay?
Okay.
All right, Ms. Catherine?
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance number 025010, an ordinance adopting the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky annual budget for fiscal year July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Sponsored by Councilmember Bonnie Enlow. Whereas an annual budget proposal and message has been prepared and delivered to the City Council, now therefore be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky. Section 1, the annual budget for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026 is hereby adopted as follows. Resources available in general fund. Transferred in ARPA and bonds, $16 million. Funds carried forward, $4,800,000. Total fiscal year 26, 2024, 2025 carryover, $20,800,000. Estimated revenue, $18,540,000. I'm sorry, estimated revenue under that occupational tax is $18,540,000. Property tax, $3,600,000. Insurance tax, $1,600,000. Other taxes, $276,000. Franchise tax, $112,000. State incentive pay, $409,352. Business licenses, $111,000. Inspection, building permits, plan review, $36,000. Liquor licenses, $23,000. Police, court, warrant reports, $19,000. Administrative services, $90,000. Restricted revenue, $1,300,000. Miscellaneous revenue, $503,000. Interest earned, $646,090. Municipal road aid under the MAP LGEA is $192,000. Total estimated revenues for general fund is $27,655,442. Total estimated revenues under MAP LGEA is $192,000. Total resources available for appropriations under general fund, $48,065,442. Total resources available for appropriations under MAP LGEA is $192,000. Appropriations under administration, total payroll expenses, $1,211,000. Total employee expenses, $266,000. Total department operating expenses, $1,642,050. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $76,000. Total contractor fees / services, $452,800. Total capital expenses, which include principal on the $30 million loan, $801,332. Total capital expenses for MAP LGEA is $192,000. Total administrative appropriations is under general fund is $4,449,182. Total administrative appropriations under MAP LGEA is $192,000. Public Works includes Parks and Rec. Total payroll expenses, $1,015,000. Total employee expenses, $290,000. Total department operating expenses, $373,000. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $250,000. Total contractor fees / services, $60,000. Total capital expenses, which include an all-inclusive playground, filtration / restroom building, amphitheater, town square development, sidewalks / road repairs, and drainage projects, total $7,404,000. Total public works appropriations is $9,392,000. Fire, total payroll expenses, $5,665,001. Total employee expenses, $1,298,296.46. Total department operating expenses, $414,874. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $489,328.54. Total contractor fees / services, $88,500. Total capital expenses, which include the following: dorms, update and redesign; restrooms, update and redesign; update cascade system; boat motor, handheld radios; update gear, washer and dryer; replace / update hoses, nozzles, and appliances; SCBA cylinder rotation, and slide outs for command cars. Total $778,305. Total fire department appropriations, $8,734,305. Police, total payroll expenses, $5,902,376. Total employee expenses, $983,798. Total department operating expenses, $582,554. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $787,127. Total contractor fees / services, $21,000. Total capital expenses, which include IT equipment and systems, total $70,000. Total police department appropriations, $8,346,855. Council, total payroll expenses, $90,400. Total employee expenses, $64,085. Total department operating expenses, $27,470. Total council appropriations, $181,955. City and park capital expansion, total facilities and equipment expenses is, I just now recognize, is that supposed to be a zero? It's a line.
Zero.
Yeah, it's a zero.
Okay, so that's gonna be a zero. We're gonna literally write the zero in. So, total facilities and equipment expenses, zero. Total contractor fee services, $1 million. Total capital expenses, $15 million. And of that, that includes the aquatic center and skate park. So total city and park capital expansion is $16 million. Overhead, total payroll expenses, zero. Total employee expenses, $15,000. Total department operating expenses, $39,000. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $595,500. Total contractor fees / services, $258,500. Total capital expenses, $50,000. Total overhead, $958,000. Total appropriations in the general fund, $48,062,297. Total appropriations from FLGEA, $192,000. Excessive resources, over under appropriations, $3,145. Estimated fund balance to be carried forward to fiscal year 2026-2027, $3,145. Section 2. The provisions of this ordinance are hereby declared severable, and if any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance shall for any reason be declared invalid or unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity of the remainder of this ordinance. Section 3. All prior ordinances or parts of any prior ordinance in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 4. This ordinance is adopted in accordance with KRS 83A.060 in that it was introduced and given first reading on June 2nd, 2025, and given second reading on June 9, 2025, and shall be in full force and effect upon publication pursuant to KRS Chapter 424.
All right, thank you. And before I forget, Tom and Joe, before we get done, we'll make copies of this. I'll have copies for both of you guys, since you're both here. Okay?
Thanks, sir.
All right. Would you like a copy, Joe?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah, I was watching everybody write, and I, wait a minute, we'll just get you copies so you have it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well, thank you, Ms. Catherine. All right, our next reading is 3.2, and that's going to be the reading of our sewer, the budget.
City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, ordinance 025011, an ordinance adopting the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky sewer operation and maintenance budget for the fiscal year July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026 by estimating the revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of the sewer department. Sponsored by Councilmember Jennifer Mendez, whereas an annual budget proposal and message has been prepared and delivered to the City Council. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, Section 1, that the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026 is hereby adopted as follows. Resources, fund balance carried forward from 2025 to 2024 to 2025. That is left blank, so that should be a 0. I'm writing that in. 0. Estimated revenues, sewer revenue, LWC, $3,802,500. Sewer revenue, Mount Washington Sewer, $31,548.13. Jim Beam payment, $2,300,000. Sewer capacity fee, $25,000. Sewer connections tap on, $50,000. Sewer connections interceptor, $2,000. Residential community sludge, $5,000. Interest income, $240,000. Miscellaneous revenue, left blank, that should be a 0. So miscellaneous revenue was 0. Total estimated revenues, $6,460,048.13. Total resources available for appropriations, $6,456,048.13. Appropriations, total payroll expenses, $1,500,854. Total employee expenses, $284,500. Total department operating expenses, $785,700. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $1,260,500. Total contractor fee/services, $460,000. Total capital expenses, which include principal and loan payment, equipment purchases, small sewer projects, and treatment plant site improvement, total $2,161,999.96. Total administrative appropriations is $6,453,553.96. Total appropriations for sewer, $6,453,553.96. Excess of resources over under appropriations, $2,494.17. Estimated fund balance to be carried forward to fiscal year 2026-2027, $2,494.17. And 17 cents, I don't know if I said that. Section 2, the provisions of this ordinance are hereby declared severable, and if any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance shall for any reason be declared invalid or unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity of the remainder of this ordinance. Section 3, all prior ordinances or parts of any prior ordinance in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance is adopted in accordance with KRS 83A.060 in that it was introduced and given first reading on May 27, 2025, and given second reading on June 9, 2025, and shall be in full force and effect upon publication pursuant to KRS Chapter 424.
Just making sure. Yeah, you did make changes to that one too. Yeah, if you look,
Okay, so section 4 should be
June 2nd,
first reading on
June 2nd.
June
Yeah.
2nd. I feel like,
Yeah, because
This
we
is
had
not
that,
the-
we had to add that same adjustment that they wanted on both.
Yeah,
both-
yeah, I
both
feel like-
funds.
yeah, I had another copy that had,
It had it corrected, I think.
then when we added, we changed it, we didn't. So the section 4 will read that the first reading was June 2nd, 2026, second reading June 9th, 2026.
Okay, all right, so what we have here obviously is the first reading, we'll have a meeting on June 9th to make sure we have our second reading for that, but then we'll get back into our regular meeting, we have other things that are gonna be out there.
Can I ask
Okay.
a question?
Yes, you can.
On the filtration restroom building, are we still building that building, or is it just gonna be the filtration building?
That's
now?
the, okay, no, we call it a filtration building, but it's restrooms, it's the pavilions
So
on the
it's still
ends.
gonna have the restrooms
Same
in
buil-
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's everything on that. That was
Because
just
I knew you were doing the other things.
well, we have a satellite one we're actually putting out there by the baseball field, but we have the Mulvaney area that's gonna have restrooms. You're gonna have restrooms in the playground area, and then just for moms not to have to go to either one of those for the
Yeah.
baseball fields, we're gonna have the satellite one like we're gonna have here for the skate park.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure, I was
No worries.
I was just checking.
Okay?
So second reading is,
June 9th.
June 9th?
Yep.
Okay. And, we just made a change, I'm sorry. But,
The date.
I know.
The
But we
date.
just got the numbers today, like the final ordinance today. And that email said the department heads need to get all of their final projects into the document. So what I'm asking for is not that big of a deal.
We're not changing it. Okay? We're not changing. We've done all this. We've had
really
these
not up to
conversations.
you,
Okay,
with all due respect, it's
again, it's okay. Again, we have other council members here too. We can actually ask this. The biggest thing we're asking for is that we told you that we had 8 weeks, and I've gone through this already with you. I'm gonna reiterate the fact that you waited till the first reading to make any adjustments. And then again, you were asked.
I requested this last,
Okay, you were asked after the meeting on the 27th, Rob. I'm gonna reiterate to you again.
And we were
You
supposed to get the
yeah, I'm
numbers
not
from the
finished,
department.
I'm not finished. You asked for descriptions, and everybody was, am I correct in that, Faith? Am I correct in that, Brad? We actually talked about this. Bonnie made the comment that if we put the description there, everybody would be happy with the budget. You had details of that. We can't even give you numbers. They haven't even been bidded out yet. How are we gonna know that?
If you know you need $1.2 million, how do you know that without, for these, whatever, 5
These are
projects?
projections. That's
Right,
all we
so
can.
you project the cost.
Okay, we put that out there, but we're talking about what we did last meeting. Again, we're going into another meeting that you're wanting to make another change. I've discussed this with you personally, okay? I'm gonna tell you, you had more than an opportunity to do this before. I don't see any reason why we're doing anything, but we had our first reading, we'll have our June 9th or 2nd, sir. If you have something else that you wanna say?
Well, if this passes, then I'm gonna make a future motion soon to amend it, to have those added.
Okay,
And this is our budget,
okay, oh, that's fine. But you don't have to get the rest of the council to go with you.
okay?
Okay, you can do what you wanna do, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rob, the first version was emailed out Saturday. Did you not get that version? Because the only version that came out today was, there was a few capital expenses. There was one in Public Works that was added, and a few in the police department.
Yeah, and drainage was added.
Yep, so did you not get the one on Saturday?
I got the one on Saturday.
Okay,
yes,
I was just
but
making
I'm just
sure.
saying, we got the final one today.
Okay.
I
And
didn't see any added on the police.
No, I'm sorry, fire department.
Okay, yes.
Fire,
Okay.
the fire, so.
And they were just descriptions, which was asked by the majority of the council. All right, that said, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
motion?
Second.
All right, you got a roll call, please?
Brad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
and Faith.
Yes.
I'm gonna copy these notes. Okay, I want the meeting notes. I'm gonna give them to me, I want a hard copy of it. Thank you all for being here, and Tom, Joe, if you'll wait, I'll get you,
That or you want Brenda to email?
we can, but I'll get you a copy. Do we have,
I can email a corrected copy, because there's no zeros, just
Okay.
lines.
Well, we'll email both of you. Do we have your email address? I think so. All right, well, thank you all for coming. Tom,
I know
Sam,
we fixed those.
Thank you all for coming.
I did.